Testing, testing.
Testing, testing. Hello, hello. Is this better? Am I getting better? Is this better? Check, check, check.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that better? Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it's gonna flip. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. That's the best I can do.
Wow.
Give me this. You get these other speakers. 1 2 3 4 5 6 6.
Okay, I'm gonna try to talk loud. Can folks hear me a little bit better now? It's still not good. If you can, I hear a bad echo, but if you can hear me in the back, the furthest person in the back, if you can hear my voice, raise your hand. Okay. Well, I am Deputy Mayor Todd Bettison, and I am so excited to be at our first citywide charter mandated meeting for the year. And we have a lot of exciting things to talk about. As you can see behind me, Detroit works $100 million in scholarship for adult funds. So the mayor has been hard at work at this, along with our Detroit City Council, all of us. We're very pleased. And at this point, I would like to bring your mayor, Mayor Mike Duggan.
Well, thank you. And this is what I'm using. So I want to welcome everybody to our first charter meeting. And tomorrow, Detroit City Council is moving back into the chambers. Apparently, we're working out the bugs on the sound system tonight. But I want to acknowledge Council President Mary Sheffield. Council Member Angela Callaway is here. Is Council Member Santiago Romero here? Somebody told me she was here. I don't see her. Any other council members that I didn't see coming in? All right. Well, this is a night we've been working for a long time. We wanted to have a city where every person who wanted to get a good paying job could get one, and the jobs in Detroit went to Detroiters. And because of the assistance of President Biden and the American Rescue Plan, we are kicking off a program of $100 million in scholarships that are going to go to Detroiters over the next 2 years. And let me talk to you about how it's working. President Biden has been terrific, and Friday, his senior advisor, Gene Sperling, who runs the American Rescue Plan for the United States, flew to Detroit to talk about the Jump Start program as a national model. Many of you have friends, relatives, you yourself may have gotten scholarships for college. What we are talking about here today are scholarships for people who aren't going to college. Because a college degree is a good thing, gives you a lot of choices, but there are a lot of really good paying jobs that don't require a college degree. They do require some knowledge, they do require some training, and what we're going to talk about tonight are the scholarships for those programs, for adults who you might never have thought you were going to get a scholarship, but because you're here in the city, you're going to have that chance. So you know what things were like 10 years ago? 21% unemployment rate. If we had done this program 10 years ago, I couldn't have told you there was a job waiting for you. And people have gone through that. They went and got trained for jobs, and when they got out, they went on interviews, and there was no job open. We weren't doing that. But things have changed a lot since then. The unemployment rate that you saw 2012, 2013 was over 20%. You can see it, COVID has spiked up to almost 40%. But today, we're under 7%, the lowest unemployment rate in 22 years. And what that means is that if you take these scholarships and you get these trainings, there's good jobs waiting for you here in the city of Detroit. And so today, this is what Detroit at Work is placing, 8,870 open jobs today in the city. And half of them don't need a college degree. This is what Nicole Sherrod Freeman and Detroit at Work have been doing. And you've seen the jobs that have come back. 10 years ago when I got elected, most Detroiters went to work in the suburbs, right? You couldn't find a good paying job in Detroit, right? They were all moving out. And so every morning, most Detroiters had to go out to the suburbs to get a job, but we worked really hard to bring jobs into the city that are high-end jobs, but also are jobs that people could get with high school and some training. And so 5,000 jobs at the new Jeep plant over on Mack Avenue have come in. GM just announced tomorrow they're starting to build the electric Hummers with 2,000 jobs at Factory Zero, what we used to call the Poletown plant. Thousands of supplier jobs, Dakota, where they make dashboards for the Grand Cherokees, and Flexigate makes parts for the Ford car. Thousands of jobs in construction. In fact, Detroit is now the epicenter of the construction industry in the state of Michigan. When did we think we'd see that? But the construction is happening here. Henry Ford continues to expand and create opportunities in the healthcare field. Tech jobs are coming back into this city. Banking, of course, Quicken's been here for a while. Huntington just moved their headquarters here. Restaurants and hotels opening up if you want to be in the hospitality industry. And this one I find just fascinating, call center jobs. J.P. Morgan Chase brought in call center jobs, $22.50 an hour with benefits, and you can work out of your house, and they're hiring all Detroiters to do it. These are the kinds of jobs that are available in the city today. And what we want to do is make sure that Detroiters get every chance to fill these jobs. And so here's what we're going to do. We're adding this $100 million in scholarships to take folks in this city, many of whom thought maybe they were forgotten, maybe they were left behind, maybe they never had a chance. And we're going to be there with you every step of the way to end up in a job that you can be really proud of. So, if you're watching at home tonight, this presentation is basically meant for 5 groups. And if you know somebody that you care about, you might want to call them and ask them to turn this on. Is this you? I never learned to read. But at this point in my life, I'm ready for a scholarship that'll pay me to take the reading classes. If you know someone like that, call them. Tell them to watch this because we're going to show them how to do it. Or, I never got my high school diploma. I'd like a scholarship that would pay me to go back to high school classes. Now, you can't do this if you're 16 years old and still in school. This is for people who are 3 years out, but you can get paid to go back to the high school. How about folks who say, I'm unemployed? And I'd like to get those skills for the really good paying job, but right now, I need a full-time paycheck. I got to buy diapers tomorrow. I got to pay my rent tomorrow. I need a full-time job. But I don't want to be in a job where I never have any choice. We have a program for you. And, I hear this a lot, I got a job. But it's not paying me the kind of money to raise my family and live the kind of lifestyle I'm looking forward to. And finally, the ones that I want to talk to the most. People who have been unemployed for more than 6 months. These tend to be the folks who've given up hope. They've had things happen in their lives that have created barriers. They may well have been the product of a school system that did not do a good job of educating them. They may have 2 children at home saying, there's no way I can work because I can't afford the child care. Or they don't have a car and say they don't have transportation. Anybody who feels like you've been left behind, tonight is the night we're going to talk about scholarships for you, because we want you filling the jobs that keep coming back to the city. So I'm going to talk to you about each of these 5 categories of scholarships. Here's the first one, Learn to Earn. You can start this month and make $200 a week learning to read. So this is how a Learn to Earn scholarship works. It's for those who read below the 8th grade level. If you read below the 8th grade level, you can get the scholarship, like now. You get paid $10 an hour for up to 20 hours a week to take your reading classes. We got flexible hours. You can do it during the day. You can do some of them nights and weekends if you want. You can go into an online setting, or you can go into a center where you're in a group. If you learn better with other people around you, we've got on-site settings. But if your schedule's such that you can't be out of your house, you can do it online. And if you say, I can't do it online, I don't have a laptop, we'll give you a scholarship that covers the laptop. This applies to everybody. If you're 25 years old and you want to get a better job, you can get a Learn to Earn scholarship. If you're 65 years old and you want to read with your grandchildren, or you just want to do something that's always been a part of it, you can earn this scholarship. We believe that everybody is enriched when you have the ability to read and interact with others. We got folks who just want to help other folks at the senior centers. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can earn this scholarship. All right, let's say you never graduated from high school, whatever happened. It doesn't matter, it might have been 3 years ago, might have been 25 years ago. It's always bothered you, you never got that high school degree. Because you're in the city of Detroit, we're going to pay you to go get that degree right now, because we know how much it's going to matter to you in your life. On the reading program, I forgot to talk about the success. The folks that we have in the reading program now, they're moving 2 grades of reading in 14 weeks. If you're reading at the 4th grade, isn't that great? We've got folks who are smart and talented who didn't have all the education opportunities, but if you start now, you could be, your 4th grade now, you could be reading at the 6th grade level before the end of spring. You could be reading at the 8th grade level by the time the leaves change. If this is something you wanted to do, now's the time to do it. And if you've been unemployed for 6 months, we'll give you a second scholarship on top of it. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And on the high school side, this is really easy. For any Detroiter who is scheduled to graduate 2020 or earlier, so 3 years past your natural graduation date, you are eligible for this scholarship. You get, same program, $10 an hour, 20 hours a week. You can make $200 a week for this. Nights, weekends, you can go to class. You can do it from home. We want this to be designed to you. We've had a number of parents with small children at home that couldn't have gotten childcare who are getting their high school degrees with their online learning classes, and it's a very exciting thing. And again, we'll cover your laptop. We're ready right now. You can start classes in the next few weeks. And if you've been unemployed for 6 months, we'll not only pay you the $200 a week to take class, we'll pay you another $300 a month to get you started. Because if you hadn't been working in 6 months, there's probably things going on in your life that are greater barriers you need to overcome, and we want to get you started in that direction. 300 high school diploma scholarships that can start in the next 2 to 6 weeks. We're ready to start teaching today. I want to talk a little bit about the success. These are just the greatest things, the graduation sessions. These are our folks. They got paid the $10 an hour. 100 have graduated already. We got some here raising their hands, all right? So 100 have graduated already. It is a day of joy. Please. Hi, how are you? It is a day of joy when this happens. Now, want to talk about the math. So, if you live in this city and you don't have your high school degree, you can start making an extra $800 to $1,100 a month right now. And here's how it works. You do your learn to earn, your reading lessons or your high school lessons. We'll pay you $200 a week for 4 weeks, $800. You've been unemployed for 6 months. We're going to give you a second Jumpstart scholarship to get you back in because you probably are thinking maybe it's going to be harder than I want. It's $1,100 a month that you can start making. And so I've had folks say to me, my landlord just raised my rent $200 a month. What am I going to do? Right? If you don't have a high school degree, you can start making $1,100 a month right now. My car's broken down. It's a $1,000 bill. I can't get it fixed. I'm stuck. I have no transportation. You could make $1,100 a month starting next month. And this is it, right? This is because you're here. The 10 years before I got elected, 200,000 people moved out of this city. 200,000 people moved out of the city. This is for you because you stayed, all right? We believe in you. The people that you're going to see up here on the stage believe in you. And because you stayed, you've got the opportunity, these jobs. You've got the chance to make that kind of money. This is what the city of Detroit owes to you. And so what does it mean after you get your degree? These are just numbers, national numbers. If you started high school and you didn't finish, getting that degree over the course of your life means $10,000 a year in more earnings. If today you read below the 6th grade level and you go through our Learn to Earn in our high school program, we'll pay you all the way through, you make $30,000 a year the rest of your life. And it's not that hard to understand. I showed you that Jeep plant, right? They make $40,000 to $60,000 a year plus benefits assembling those Grand Cherokees. But it's a new day. Jeep won't interview you unless you have a high school degree. Okay, these are different assembly lines. They've got computer screens. They've got quality control and teams. You have to have a high school degree before you can access most of the jobs that I showed you here. We want to unlock those jobs and those opportunities for you. Now, for those who want a full-time job, I need a full-time paycheck now. But I'd like to get a job where I can learn some skills to make even a better paycheck later. And so we started this program we call Skills for Life. We will hire you tomorrow, full-time, 40 hours a week at $15 an hour. You need a paycheck right now? We will hire you as a city employee in our Skills for Life program. You can work park maintenance. We have these parks ambassadors that greet folks in the summer who work in the parks. We've got all kinds of neighborhood cleanups. We've got door-to-door outreach for the different city programs where you talk to neighbors and tell them what's going on. We will hire you tomorrow 40 hours a week if you live in the city. But here's what Skills for Life is. 2 days a week, you don't go to the job site. 2 days a week, you go to your class. And we pay you full-time working while you go to the class those other 2 days a week. And so those 2 days a week, you can go get your CDL truck driving license where you earn the city paycheck. You can become a heavy equipment operator. People who make a lot of money running that equipment. You can get the training here. You can be an IT desktop professional, an electrical technician. You can do masonry. You can be a nursing assistant. You can be a phlebotomist, those people who stick the needles in your arm and draw your blood. It's a lot more skilled than it looks. And if you've been on the other end of the needle, you appreciate the skilled phlebotomist, right? Or you could take classes for your GED degree. We're ready to put you to work. But here's the thing. We want you to get the skills that if you want to move on to a better job, you can. So a couple of months ago, I was driving down Gratiot, and there was this huge crew cleaning up this site in the city. They were working really hard. I said, I got to see what's going on here. So I just pulled over. I got out. I said, Who are you? What are you doing? It was the Skills for Life crew. And they were cleaning a site on Gratiot. And so I knocked them off working for a few minutes. But it was one of the most special days I've had, because every one of them, when they came over to take their picture, told me about their dream. This was a day they were on the job site, but on the other days, they were telling me what they were going to do. And they were going to their equipment operator training on the other days, or their electrical technician training. Everybody told me about what their dream was. I'm going to be an electrical worker. I'm going to be a truck driver. I'm going to build houses in masonry. Or I'm just getting paid to take my GED classes and get my licenses. Every one of those individuals came up and told me, I like what I'm doing right now, it makes the city look better, but let me tell you about my dream. And the city is paying to help Detroiters pursue that dream. And so this is what they're doing on their other 2 days. They're learning to drive the truck. They're learning to build the houses. This is their 2 days where their dreams really start to come true. 3 to 12 months in Skills for Life. We've got some here in the front row who have done it. Now, here's what's happened at the end of the 3 to 12 months. This has been fascinating to me. We didn't know what was going to happen. So 82 have already finished. And here's what we found. 50% of them left the city for a better paying job. I'm okay with that. All right? They want to go be an electrical engineer somewhere or pursue those dreams. 30% of them got promoted to the city in a better paying job with the city. In fact, a number of them were the folks running the snow plows that did such a great job this last couple of weeks in the city of Detroit. They started out as laborers in the parks, raised their skills, now they're driving large truck. And 20% said they liked what they were doing as a park ambassador. They liked the people they were working with, and for now, they're going to stay. But this is what getting these skills are about. You have choices, and you can pursue different choices at different parts of your life. We have the jobs available right now if that sounds like something that you would like to do. We have 50 different career training courses. And the person who has built the entire Detroit at Work program and has built out these 50 careers is our head of Detroit at Work, Nicole Sherrard-Freeman. And I want her to talk to you today about what she's done.
Testing my mic. All right. Oh, we're in good shape. All right, so good evening, y'all. So listen, if you are still watching at home, and obviously those of you who are here in the room, we hope that one of the reasons you are still watching is because you've heard all about these training programs and you want to know what they're all about. So I want to talk to you for just a couple of minutes about the kind of training we have and how you get connected to it. So let's start here. So we have 20 paid and 30 unpaid training programs, and I'm going to break that down for you. So our paid programs are either full-time or part-time. Paid means you are either earning a wage when you go to training class of somewhere between $10 and $16 an hour, or you are earning a stipend. Sometimes the programs Terry and the team have are $100 a week. Sometimes they're $200 a week. The amount that you are paid and the way that you're paid depends on the program that you choose. They're not all paid. I want to be clear about that. The paid opportunities are those that are connected to our high growth, high demand industries, right? So manufacturing and some of the electrical opportunities in construction, you know, mobility. Everybody's talking about mobility and advanced mobility and EVs, healthcare, IT, and professional services. Working with a small business or starting a small business, the point is a paid program, as the mayor says, pays you some amount while you are in training. We have 30 programs that are unpaid. Now, your first question is, if there's a paid program and an unpaid program, why would I go to the unpaid program? So there's a good answer to that. The first is, not every program is in a high growth, high demand industry. So let's say, for example, that you want to be a veterinary technician. Now, that's an important job. It's a good job. It's got a future, but there's not a lot of demand for it. So if you choose the veterinary technician program, any of the programs teaching you that kind of skill, we're not going to pay you for. There are also lots of training programs, and it would cost an awful lot of money to pay everyone for everything. So I got to tell you, because you are in Detroit, y'all know it's unusual to get paid to go to training. It is unusual for somebody to say to you, you want to build your skill set, I'm going to pay you while you do that. It's because you are in Detroit that you have that opportunity. But I want to be clear. But I want to be clear that not every training program is a paid training program. So we just talked about paid, unpaid, wages, stipends, full-time, part-time. You can go in person, you can go remotely, you can go to some class that is some combination of both. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of information, especially for somebody who's been out of the workforce for a while, maybe hasn't been in training for a while. Those sound like a lot of decisions, a lot of things to sort through. But you want to know what? We have good news for you. There are 9 Detroit at Work training centers across this city. We run them in partnership with many of the partners that are here today and others. And there is somebody who is waiting for you when you decide to take the first step, which is often the hardest one, that first phone call to start talking to somebody about what you want to do. That first time you go into a Detroit at Work Career Center and you want to talk to somebody about the program that's right for you, that's a hard first step. So we want you to know that chances are you live somewhere, if you look at this map, you live 3 to 5 miles within one of these career centers, and we want you to know there's somebody at the career center to walk you through every step. Here's the other thing we're excited about. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to try to balance. So I have a mic, a clicker, a limp, apparently, and a career guide. So we are so excited about this career guide. This is the first time that we have ever put all in one place information on our training programs and how you access them. Let me tell you how this came about. So the mayor was talking to a group of community members who said to us, that's great that y'all have all those programs and you can get to them this way and that way, and you can go here or there and you pay this much or that much. What would really help us would be if you put it on paper, if you laid it out for people so that they can see, because not everybody is tuned in to the channels that the city, or streaming into the channels that the city uses. Not everybody is on the social platforms that the city uses. Put it on paper. Give us some way to sit down in the living room with somebody and talk about what the options are. If you go online right this minute, because Dee has made sure of this, if you go online right this minute to DetroitAtWork.com, you can click on the Detroit at Work Career Guide, and literally you can start flipping through it. It's one of those online books. You can do it on your phone. I did it before I got here. You can start flipping through the pages. Let me tell you what's in this book. So, you know, we talk about all these training programs, but if you don't have anybody in your family or in your community who has actually been a heavy equipment operator, you might not know what that is. So you might not know that you're working on a construction site, or maybe you're working in a factory, you're using a bulldozer, you're working in a residential site or a commercial construction site. You could be indoors or outdoors, and you don't need a high school diploma. You might not know that customer service representatives, as the mayor was talking about with Chase, you might not know that there's so much opportunity for customer service representatives. You can work from home, you can work in a center, you might do some combination of both. And customer service representatives, y'all know, if you have the right set of skills, a customer service representative easily makes somewhere between $15 and $20 an hour to start. You need a high school diploma, though. But it's also a place where a customer service representative training class is paid. There's a certified nursing assistant. You got to be good with, dealing with bodily fluids and helping people when they are in their most vulnerable state. But a certified nursing assistant, and for many of them, we'll be honest, you're going to need a vaccine. But a certified nursing assistant might be the right opportunity for you. A computer network specialist, electronics technician. The point is there are so many opportunities for you to choose from. And let me tell you two things that I want you to tell your friends and your family. Number one, many of our employers are background friendly. So if you or someone you know has a felony or a misdemeanor or some other issue in their background that you've been nervous about, that is embarrassing to you, don't let that stop you. Your past is not your future. And the second thing is, many of the employers and training programs that we are working with don't care if you smoke marijuana. Tell your friends. They don't care. Some of them do. Let's be honest, some of them do. So if you're going to operate a piece of heavy equipment, if you're going to drive a truck, I don't have them all off the top of my head. Some of them do, but not all of them do. So don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you either. All right, so here's the other thing I know you're sitting there thinking, or somebody at home is thinking, I've already been trained. I'm not going to training. Like, I got skills already. There's an opportunity for you too. So if you already have some basic skills and you let's say you like physical labor, you enjoy physical labor, and you like putting in a hard day's work and you don't mind being sweaty when you go home, there is an employer right now who is looking for you, who wants to talk to you about being a production operator, making somewhere between $16.50 and $18.50 an hour. There is an opportunity for you, and they just want to teach you how they do things where they work. If you have good customer service skills, maybe a front desk agent or an account specialist is right for you. And maybe the only training you need is what the employer will give you. Maybe if you have good customer service skills and you like the adrenaline rush of working under extreme pressure and some extreme conditions, maybe an emergency services deployment operator is right for you. The point is, no matter where you are and no matter what skill set you have, whether you've been out of the workforce for six weeks or 6 months or 6 years, or maybe you've never had a job, there is an opportunity for you. Plus, if any of these full-time training or employment opportunities are attractive to you, you could also be eligible for a full-time $600 a month Jumpstart bonus. Now, we've said Jumpstart 5 times in the last 20 minutes, and you want to know what Jumpstart is all about. Mayor?
All right. Thank you, Nicole. So I want to start by thanking the people who made this possible. I got a chance to sit at the White House with President Biden and tell him about Jumpstart. And he brought Gene Sperling in as senior assistant. You got to hear about this. We kicked it off. The president sent Gene Sperling out here to do it because he believes what Detroit is doing on Jumpstart is what we need to do for people around the country who have given up hope and dropped out of the workforce. But I want to start by thanking the people who did it here, because nobody's tried this before. We're going to find out if it works. But Nicole Sherrard-Freeman in Detroit It Works. Todd Bedison, the deputy mayor, helped put this together. And we had great support from City Council. All the councilmen were great, but Councilman Coleman Young and Councilmember Mary Waters were big supporters of this from the beginning. We all got together and said, how do we do this? Because we get a lot more done when we're working together. So here's how Jumpstart works. If you've been unemployed for 6 months, on top of everything else we told you here, we know something's going on. The number of people who have said to me, I can't work because of child care. Hear it all the time, and it's true. I mean, you know how much child care costs. Well, that first 6 months, you're going to get an extra $600 a month on top of whatever else you're being paid to figure out how to get yourself set up in a good location with quality child care, to get your car fixed so you've got transportation, to get that landlord paid off so you don't have to worry about somebody trying to evict you. Then the next 6 months, you'll get $400 a month, and the next 6 months, $200 a month. Because, of course, we expect after 6 or 12 months with your training program, you're into a better job. But we wanted to jumpstart you into that success. And so this is our idea, and it's starting now. If you're part-time, so you know the 20-hour a week that we talked about, learn to read, and high school, you only go on 20 hours a week. But we will, on those cases, you'll get a half a Jump Start scholarship. $300 for the first 6 months, on top of what you're getting paid, $200 the next 6 months, and then $100 the next 6 months. We are looking for folks to reach out to those who have been forgotten. Now, whenever I start talking to a group about this, first question, people understand this, right? Is this going to cost me my benefits? Right? Because we all know if you make money and you make too much money, you end up losing on the other end when they take their benefits away. So we went up to the state of Michigan. We made sure we got a legal opinion. So today, if you get from the state of Michigan cash assistance, Medicaid, state emergency relief, food assistance, or SNAP, anybody who gets that, it is not affected by the Jump Start scholarship. We got written opinions in the file because I didn't want to take any chance of somebody coming back saying, hey, thanks a lot, I just got my SNAP benefits cut. No, that's not going to happen because what the law actually says is that if you're getting paid to learn a new skill, you're getting paid to earn a high school diploma, you're getting paid to upgrade your reading and math skills, that doesn't count against your benefits because, of course, the state wants you to get those skills, wants you to earn the kind of income that everybody aspires to. So, I'm sure when you tell your friends about this, first thing they're going to say is, oh yeah, but what about my benefits? You can start by telling them your benefits will not be touched. So, here's what we did. Sounds good, right? How many times does government come up with a program we write in our offices and it doesn't actually work when we get to the world, right? Happened once or twice. And so we said this time, what would happen if we went to those groups who have been the activist groups in this city, who maybe had a little bit of money for their effort, or maybe they didn't, they just loved it, they're always knocking on doors, they're always telling people economic empowerment, get a job, they're doing that all the time. What if we went to those groups and said, be our partners? You reach out to the folks that you interact with every day and tell them how this program is working. And so we now have 18 community partners who are signed up to roll out Jumpstart. A number of them are here today. Can I ask the folks representing the 18 to please stand up and wave so they can see who we are? All right? So I'm going to show you who they are and tell you why I think they're so special. So Church of the Messiah Housing Corporation, Detroit Hispanic Development, Detroit People's Action, Emerging Industries Training Institute, Family Assistance for Renaissance Men, Fit for Life Health and Fitness. These are all out there. Focus Hope, International Institute of Metropolitan Detroit, Southwest Detroit Business Association, Spectrum Human Services, St. Vincent and Sarah Fisher Center, TEA, they are all going to be out there recruiting you and standing with you every step of the way. Black Bottom Group, Open Door Kojic, Detroit Friends and Family, and TMI Detroit. And let me tell you what is really special about this group. In the past, you've seen government programs. They pass out money to a bunch of organizations to go do work, and some do good work and some don't. That's the way it works. I came in and said to these folks, we're not going to give you any money up front. Okay? I want you to do this only if you believe in this. But here's what we will do. Every time your client succeeds, we'll pay you. You sign them up, we'll pay you $300. They make it through their first 6 weeks, and that's not easy. We'll give you another $300. You make it halfway through the program, we'll give you $800. And if you complete the program, we'll give you another $800. And I said, are you willing to bet on the talent and dedication of Detroiters? You only get paid if your clients succeed. And these 18 organizations say, we work with these folks every day. All they've been waiting for is a chance like this. And they signed up to bet on the talent of our community. And this is what has got the White House so excited, is the idea that the activists who have been demanding change for years are actually going to be the ones who are going to be calling you on the phone and say, are you at your class today? Who are going to be the ones when my car broke down, help you get to that job. They'll be the partner that you may need until you get going. And I'm just so pleased at all 18 who have signed up. So you can start 9 o'clock in the morning. Phone can ring, 962 work, or you can go online tonight even at DetroitAtWork.com, and you can start to apply for these scholarships. And we're going to be filling these in February. This is not going to be some long, slow process. The team is ready to go. At this point, I want you to have a chance to hear from the folks who are going to be working on these programs and some of the folks who have succeeded. And with that, let me turn it back to our leader, Nicole Sherrod-Freeman.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. So we want to invite 2 of our In Detroit organizations up and 2 participants. So we're going to start with, Mayor, you have the clip. Where's the clicker? Sorry. Oh.
Can't take me anywhere.
Oh, the scholarship fairs. So before we get to, I'm so sorry. So before we get to bringing up 2 of our In Detroit organizations and 2 of our program graduates, we want to tell you the other ways you can access, in addition to calling first thing in the morning or going online right now tonight, we also have scholarship fairs. February 2nd, we're going to be at Payne Pulliam. February 9th, we're going to be at the Northwest Activity Center. February 16th, we're going to be at the Boys and Girls Club. And there's one more. February 22nd, we're going to be back at Durfee, where Friday's event was. More information at DetroitAtWork.com, but this is your chance to come out, look around, talk to people, figure out what's right for you. We're just creating multiple ways for you to come out and connect with us and figure out what's right. Now we're going to welcome up our panelists. We're going to start with Willie Bell, who is with FARM, Family Assistance for Renaissance Men. Please join me in welcoming him. We're going to ask Laura Chavez to come up, who is with the Southwest Detroit Business Association. Octavia Dunn, who is a Learn to Earn graduate. Woo-hoo! And Alicia Hines-Jones, who is among our first Skills for Life graduates. And so what we asked each of our panelists to do was just to spend a few minutes telling you their story, because it's one thing to hear us, to hear the administration, to hear Detroit at Work talk about all these programs. It is quite another thing to hear directly from the people who are doing the work and who have benefited from the program. So I'm going to turn it over to you. And why don't we start, Alicia? We love your story. Why don't we start?
Good afternoon. My name is Alicia Hines-Jones, and I am a native Detroiter. I attended elementary school, middle school, and high school here in Detroit and graduated from the Detroit Public School System. I also attended Wayne State University, and I obtained my 4-year college degree there as well. I was caring for my mother some years ago, and she made me make a promise to her that I would go back and get the years that I lost caring for her to obtain my earnings. So that's what brought me to Skills for Life. I started looking for a volunteer job, and it turned into a real job. So I first started at the COVID Center Testing Center at the State Fairgrounds as one of the drive-up attendants that directed you to get your COVID shot. Soon after that, I became involved in the inventory management area where I distribute the daily PPE materials for the entire location and also manage the inventory. After the State Fair location shut down, we were moved to TCF, and I continued to do the same work there, managing the inventory at the TCF Center downtown. Then the city asked the employees to return to their jobs, and my job was a laborer with the alley cleanup division at the Huber location. So I signed up for Skills for Life, and I signed up for the CDL-A program. I did get my CDL, but it wasn't the A, I got the B. The CDL also has a lot of challenges in it, and you have to have a lot of tenacity to do it. I would not give up and I would not quit, and I do intend on going back and finishing, getting my CDL-A. But I did obtain my CDL-B certificate in October of 2022. So I am a licensed CDL driver, and yes, I do drive trucks. So when I signed up for the Detroit at Work program, they were very, very supportive. They took me into their program. They gave me all the skills that I needed so far as resume writing, employment etiquette, learning how to deal with people on my job, as well as, people in the community. As you know, I work in the city of Detroit for the GSD department, and I work in alley cleanup. When I came back as a laborer and started the Skills for Life, I didn't think that I was going to finish the program, and I knew I wasn't going to quit, but I also wanted to make sure that I secured myself a position where I can move on to other tasks and other agencies if, so it suited me. But I decided that I was going to be dedicated to the city of Detroit. Since they gave me my training, why wouldn't I support them and stay and work as a city employee? So I just want to let you know, if you're interested in working or getting a new job or a new career, Detroit at Work has a great program. They have a wraparound services. As you can see by what Ms. Freeman told you, they give you all of the tools that you need to succeed. If you need home care, or if you need child care, if you're looking for a better position, any of the positions that you're looking for so far as career building in any type of industry, it's available to you. And you have the opportunity to take that in your hands and go and get what you want. There's no reason for anyone in this city to say, I can't get a job. So I want you to know I do plan on getting my CDA in the future. So you'll see me driving a bigger truck the next time. So watch out and look out. And I'll be watching out and looking out for you. But I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the mayor, to my coaches, to my instructors, to my managers at GSD, especially the alley cleanup crew who supported me through the whole ordeal, to my work family, to the residents of the city of Detroit who allow me to do the job that I do every day and greet me with welcome open arms, and always, always give out the city employees praise for the work that they do. And just a special thank you to my husband who supported me through the whole ordeal and every day would tell me to go and do my best.
My name is Octavia. I dropped out of high school in 2004. I wound up getting pregnant. I went to Redford High School, and everybody know how Redford High School was. On top of being pregnant, my daughter's father got killed. So it was hard. I made many attempts to go back to school and just didn't do it. So one day I was at work, I was a caregiver, and I was sitting on the couch, and the Learn to Earn commercial just kept coming on. It was like back to back, and I used to be like, okay, I'm going to call it. And one day, I just went outside and was like, you know what, I'm going to call it. And I went, and I had the amazing team. Miss Carmen and everybody sat down, talked to me. And Miss Carmen, I told her my life story. And she was like, we're going to get you through this. And when I say the Learn to Earn program is something that everybody should try. If you don't have a high school diploma, you should do it. Because I wound up graduating with my daughter. Me and my daughter walked across the stage together in 12th grade. I say my baby, she was my biggest support system. Not only that, I registered for school when the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, it was like I was ready to give up because I'm like, what we gonna do? Ain't no school. But they managed to call every step of the way. They stayed on me. Even when I was lacking, you know, they'll call, we need you to go do your work. And I managed to take care of my patient and do my schoolwork. And I wound up graduating in June, and that was the most proudest day ever. So I want to tell the mayor and everybody, thank you, because that was a big deal. That was one of the proudest moments to walk across stage with my kids in the audience. So thank you. So, like I say, if you feel it's never too late to get your high school diploma or your GED. So try the program. It won't hurt. Like I say, you got a good support team, and they amazing. So I say try it.
Thank you so much. As everyone has heard, my name is Laura Chavez Wazirudin. You can go by Laura Chavez, it's fine. And I represent Southwest Detroit Business Association. And I'm one of the 18 IDOs that was selected. We're representing one of the 18. And I'm just so honored, and I feel really privileged to be able to bring this to my community. Our community is representative of the immigrant community of Detroit. I always feel like we have a natural resource in our community, which is bilingual, right? And so a lot of times people think that that's a negative, but actually every opportunity that I've had in my life has been because I am bilingual. And so to be able to allow the people of my community to highlight and to shine it and to build legacy, when I listen to these stories, it really warms my heart, because to know that I could be a part of making change, legacy building in our community is something that, you know, is what we want. We want economic mobility, we want economic stability. And how else can we do this if we don't have the support that we need? And so I'm thankful to the city. I'm thankful to ARPA. I'm thankful to everyone who has come together and said, let's do something right for our communities. And when I think of coming out of the pandemic, there are so many people that come to us and say, how can you help us? What can you do? And a lot of times we try our best, but to know that we have the backing of the U.S. government is something exponential. And I'm so excited to be here today. I can't wait for our phones to ring. I can't wait to be able to put my first couple, community members through this program, and to be able to maybe next time they're one of the storytellers. And so I'm honored, I'm privileged, and thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. Laura Chavez and I, we've already been working before the Jumpstart jumped off, right? So we were already on the ground running together. And so we were surprised to see each other in this election. So we're honored to be a part of this election. My name is Willie Bell. I'm the CEO and founder of Family Assistance for Renaissance Men. It's a program designed to help fathers get back on track with their children. We help them for those men that did not get a chance to have a father in their lives. They're out there trying to figure it out. They're out there like Tarzan. I liken it to Tarzan. Tarzan didn't have, the resources and didn't have guidance. Just like the men out in the street. They're out there in the street like Tarzan, not without the resources and trying to figure it out. So we're the only program that I know of doing the wraparound services that we're doing to help them with their tickets, warrants, driver's licenses. We partner with 39 judges. We have 11 attorneys helping us help these men with their various issues. We have social workers in the program, partnering with Wayne State University School of Social Work. We partner with Wayne County Community College and other community colleges right now. And this right here is a conduit, allowing us to be a conduit with the city of Detroit to help those people, like the mayor said, who are lost, who are, forgotten about, and who think that we've forgotten about them. And so I'm just honored to be able to be a part of helping those men and those families. Let me give you a little bit of stats about the work that we're doing and how it connects with the Jumpstart. For every man that we help, 3.5 children's lives are changed. These are the stats. For every man that we help, 2.5 mothers of those children's lives are changed as well, for a total of 7 family members' lives being changed through farm. And this Jumpstart is going to allow us to be able to help even more family members that didn't have a father in their lives. When we give men an opportunity to step up and to support that mom who's already working, some of them are already working, right? And they're doing the best they can, being the best mothers that they can without having a father around. But when we bring them back, the support of the men, okay? The sky's the limit for the whole family. So this Jumpstart gives us an opportunity to take these men and give them a Jumpstart even more. Trade off that hustle in the street. You may be cutting grass. You may be cutting hair. You may be a handyman, right? You may be out there doing some things illegally. This is an opportunity to turn your lives around. Trade in that hustle. We got the lawyers for you. We got the judges for you. And now we have the city on our side for you as well. So God bless you guys. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council.
All right, one more big hand for our 4 panelists. And so we're going to let Ms. Hines-Jones, Ms. Dunn, Ms. Chavez, and Mr. Bell go back to their seats, but they will be here to answer questions, whether you're here or at home, if you want to answer questions. But I'll let you guys return to your seats for this next session. I know the notice said this was going to go till 8:30, but this has gone longer than I had expected. But I thought everybody was worth hearing from, don't you? So we are going to extend the question session longer as well. The ways the work is, we'll take one person on site, one person over the internet, back and forth. If you are watching online, I'm sure you all know this by now, computer users, click your raise hand icon. Telephone users, press *9. Please tell us your name, what neighborhood you're from, ask your question, and we ask that you keep it to 1 minute because we have a lot of folks we want to get to. We've got somebody down in front who has had her hand up, and so why don't we start here with our first question, and why don't you just take the microphone from me? Okay. You can sit down. You're good.
Mr. Mayor, you don't remember me because I've lost weight because of COVID. I'm in your book doing the sign under when we hit the right end, and you came to my home. All of that sounded good today. But I have a great nephew that has been applying for these jobs for 6 months. And the man never emailed back. My nephew graduated from high school. He can read fluently. He told me in Northwest Activity Center. That's where I took him. I made him go down, get an application. Somebody gave him a card. This man don't even have a phone number. You gotta email him. And when you email him, he never email you back. Do you know how I felt at the beginning of the year when I go over my great nephew house and he say, Auntie, I'm gonna apply at Oakland County. He said they got AVAC. He said, I'm gonna apply there. The city don't call back. It broke my heart because he's not gonna get in Oakland County. He lives in Wayne County. And how many other kids have called these numbers y'all talking about and never got a call back? Never.
All right. So, Nicole. So here's what we're going to do. He's not going to have to come to us. Tomorrow, we're going to go out and see him. And we're going to get him signed up. So, Nicole, let's talk about this. So, come on up. Tell them who we're going to send out and what we're going to do. We are going to personally walk him through the process from beginning to end.
Thank you. So first, so I know you don't want to talk to anybody. I know you don't want to talk. I know you don't want to talk to me. I understand. I understand. Yes, I understand. I understand. I understand. So the first thing I have to do is, I know you don't want to talk to anybody, but I have to say that I am sorry that that was his experience, because that's the right thing to do. So that's number one. And the second thing is, if you will, if I will have Terry Weems will go out. If you will give us his information, we'll connect with you after. We'll go to him. We'll go to his home. We'll come to your home and sit down and figure out. I don't know what to say about. I don't know the employers where he applied, but I do know that there's a job for him and there's an opportunity for him, and we will hand walk him through that. And you too.
I remember, you hosted me back in 2013, and I don't have any excuse for this, but we're going to make it right, okay? And I'm going to be on it myself, and he's going to know it's because you loved him enough to come down here and make this pitch. Okay. Well, we won't tell him. We won't. All right. All right. Thank you for having the courage to come down and do this. Okay. So. Who do we have next, Kim?
Okay, so hello, can you hear me? All right, our first caller, Davis. Davis, if you could unmute yourself, if you have a question or a comment.
Okay, Davis, you're on.
How you doing?
Okay.
I'm a Black Club president, Cliff Carey Rogie, and I've been buying houses, renovating them in the neighborhood, the beautified neighborhood. And the last house I've been working on had a large tree that me and Keanu Sessions have been working with the land bank to cut down. And so we finally got it cut down after about 4 months. But they left a big, huge stump with the tree bark, like half a tree. They left it, and we're having a hard time getting that cut down.
Okay, well, we're going to get it.
Stump removed.
So we're going to get it. We're going to get it cut down. So if you give us your information, Brad Dick is sitting in the front row. He's going to send the team out this week, and we will get the rest of that tree stuff. All right? Thank you. All right, let's take a question. Here, go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me get the mic. Okay. How is it of the millage was used to determine the state assessed equivalent and determine the debt limit? You know, the city of Detroit is way over the legal debt limit right now, and all those bonds that's been issued, those interest payments that the city council is approving is totally illegal. Those are legal bonds. I got the report from David Whitaker. There's total nonsense in there. There is no way that you can use a fraction of the millage to determine the state assessed value, and David Whitaker needs to be out of his job The advice he giving the council is bogus. That whole report is a sham. Now, anybody doing that, anybody committing that type of situation here in the city of Detroit, it's got to be way more to it than that. Whole lot more than just that millage fraction, the fraction used to come up with the state assessed equivalent, 6 cents.
Okay. All right. So, you know what? Hey, look, I want us to be respectful to everybody, okay? These meetings for everybody, but in this case, not only is you're blaming Mr. Whitaker, but the courts ruled on this argument. They ruled it had no merit last September. Then you went to the city council, and the city council staff reviewed it and said it had no merit either. So I appreciate the fact that you don't agree with the courts or the elected officials, but this has been decided. All right, let's take one on the over the internet.
Unmute yourself.
Renard? Renard, are you with us?
He's unmuted.
Go ahead. Renard, can you hear us? All right, let's take one here. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Tell us your name and where you live.
Hey, how you doing, man? My name is Yvonne Smith. I live and I'm a part of the Law Road to Block Club. Came out today to ask, you remember us when you this year coming up. Been working with our district manager and deputy. We've been working closely with them. They've really been doing a great job. I want to make sure you know that the team before them was doing a great job. And they have been really bringing back the fire in the local area between all of the block clubs. They got us up and going. They got us fully signed up, and we're fired up. We're looking to take back the block, and we're really looking for some assistance from you guys. We're really excited about this year, and we really just want to say thank you to these guys for what they've done.
All right.
And we appreciate everything guys been doing. One little personal pub, I've been trying to get a couple of pieces of property.
Go ahead. You want a couple of what?
I've been trying to purchase a couple of pieces of property.
A couple of lots?
A couple of lots.
Okay.
I brought some from the land bank. I've been doing that program. I want to thank the land bank as well.
How many have you got from the land bank so far?
5.
All right, you're doing okay.
Looking to get a couple more.
All right. Okay.
But they're adjacent to the land I own, and
All right. Is Tammy Daniels here? All right. Well, we'll take the lots. But here's the thing I know for sure. I can take you from one area to this city to the other, and the neighborhoods that have come back the fastest aren't always the neighborhoods that are the wealthiest. They're usually the neighborhoods with the strongest block clubs, the strongest local leadership. So thank you for what you've been doing. All right, Kim, let's try the phones again.
Hey, you can unmute yourself. You have a question or a comment. Destiny and Noah.
Destiny, are you with us?
They're unmuted. Something's going on, but they're talking.
All right, we're going to take questions here until they solve the sound system. And Mary Sheffield is sitting over there with a big smile on her face that this is going wrong for me before her first council meeting in this session tomorrow when they will have it all worked out. So go ahead.
Okay, 1 second. I first want to start this out being positive. I just want to say the economic development and opportunity brought to this city is just remarkable. But we still have a serious problem that's holding us back from a lot more. And it's our transit system. I mean, it's just deplorable. And you know what? In my opinion, it's just stats are even more embarrassing than the 2000 and I said that in city council last week. And look, budget season's coming on. You need to double the transit budget. Oak County and Ann Arbor doubled their transit, and they have a millage. You know, the new buses, it just makes you more comfortable, not efficient.
I agree with everything you just said. And so I am now sitting every week with the management of DDOT in going through all the obstacles. It's not a lack of money. DDOT's probably got a $50 or $60 million surplus. We've still got about 50 or 60 driver vacancies. So we gave the drivers a significant raise a year ago. It stopped people from leaving, but it's not enough to attract more people. We're going to have to go back again and do what we did with the police officers, which is get the rates comparable to the surrounding community. I don't have any excuse for where we are, but I can tell you I'm on it every single week. We are going to keep adding drivers. We are going to keep adding routes. 4 years ago, we ran 200 buses a day. Now we're running 130. And it's because we haven't filled these positions, not a lack of money, but I'm going to stay on this every single day till these positions are filled and the service gets to be where it is. So thank you. Okay, we're giving up on the phone. So next here. Go ahead.
Gary Hunter, you know I'm no stranger to you. I want to thank you, first of all. I just left Chicago, L.A. with the new mayor of Karen Bass, and the things that I'm seeing here, you know, quite naturally everybody, including when we was with the president a couple weeks ago, asking about Detroit. I really got a problem because I'm in the press with people really not getting the information.
Right.
Gary, that program for the water where they paying $18 and $40, you know, the more I talk about it, the more people don't know about it. Right. We got to stop making everything a silence. We got to figure out how to get all of our community to know. Thanks to Treasurer Sabri, who's letting us know about not losing our houses to foreclosure. Thanks to Todd Bettis, who's been in the community almost everything I've been at when I'm in town. I just want us to give at least, before we assassinate this program, let's give it the credit of time. I was with you over when you were at Hobby Kitchen, whatever the kitchen on the east side when you did the job program. I didn't see it, we talked about it that much, but we really got to let people know that there is, give me 1 second, there is stuff going on.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, thank you very much. And your point, okay, guys. All right, please. Shh. Your point is well taken. It's why we're using 18 organizations to go out into the streets, because we have to find a way to reach people more effectively than we have. All right, who's next? Go ahead. Okay, so we're here to answer questions about Jumpstart, but I'll answer any other question on any other subject. So go ahead. Go ahead. Shh. All right, who's next? Go ahead and tell us your name and where you live. Go ahead. What are we waiting for?
I'm wondering about the expungement. Is there any expungement inside this program?
There is. Project Clean Slate. Is Carrie Jones here? Carrie, come on up and talk about Project Clean Slate.
Unfortunately.
All right, we are going to follow up, okay? We really are. We are.
Unfortunately, I'm like the young lady you're talking to. I've been trying to get in touch with Clean Slate for about a year now. I have not had any luck.
Great. Well, Project Clean Slate is the City of Detroit's free expungement program, and I'm happy to connect with you and make sure that you get signed up for the program, but it's really easy to do. If you have online access, you can sign up detroitmi.gov/Project Clean Slate, and we've got a team of attorneys that are willing to help you, and then we'll also connect you with resources for Detroit at Work. So I'll come up and grab your info now.
We will get 2,000 Detroiters records expunged this year in Project Clean Slate. All right. Well, you got Carrie on your side. Okay, who's next? Who's organizing the lines here? Ray, what's going on here? Okay, who's got the microphone? Oh, I see. Go ahead. Yes. Tell us your name and where you live.
Good afternoon, Mayor Duggan. My name is Fredia Butler. I've heard that they are working on the car places in our communities, and I thank you. But I would like to, I'm really, really pleased to hear about the scholarship program. But I was wondering, is it possible for you to work with the judges for our youth who are getting in trouble to require them to be in one of the programs instead of sending them to jail or whatever. And for
So
them to be
isn't that a great question? So I can tell you, I'm not the expert on this, but I know that Prosecutor Kim Worthy and Attorney General Dana Nessel have just partnered up on something they're calling Work Court to do just what you're saying, to create a diversion program where if you go into one of these programs, you don't end up with any criminal record because you get diverted. So pay attention. I know I talked to Dana Nessel about it last week, but we got a great prosecutor, great Attorney General, and you're going to see Work Court give folks that opportunity.
One other thing, please, I read in the paper about Mr. Ross and others that want $1.some billion from the city. Please do not allow that to happen, to take our tax dollars. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Do you believe in God, Mr. Mayor?
Okay. If you got a question, ask it.
To
if
be
you got
deposed.
a question, ask it.
I got a question. I was not even going to court of false criminal charges that you brought on me because I caught you cheating on your wife. Counsel has even said it. If you've charged me falsely that you committed crime.
Okay.
I charged with Kim Worthy, Dana Nessel, and you should be removed for bringing false charges.
All right. Well, we're going to let, okay, no, that's it. We're going to let the court process, we're going to let the court process play out, but let's be clear. I am not the Genesee County prosecutor. I'm not the Michigan Attorney General. I didn't bring any charges. So, but the court will play out however it goes. Go ahead. Tell us your name and what neighborhood you're from.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I'm gonna give everyone else a chance, and I'll go back. I'll answer this one question.
Go ahead.
Happy New Year.
Please listen. The others listen to you. Please let the questioner go ahead.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. What I'm seeing, we have so many Black children and children of our races being snatched in Detroit. On the Newsbreak app, there are about at least 30 children that have been snatched in the last 2 years. I know I give information to the police commissioners. I know if it was in any other community, and the police are putting it on the Newsbreak app, but I remember in the news, everybody remember this when that the Caucasian lady had the 3 Black children in the car, and thanks to the police, DPD,
right.
they caught those children. Where was she taking them? How many has she taken before? But before this become a national news story, and I'll reach out to Chief White, we have to find out Armani Taylor, Kayla Turner, Deasia Williams, Kana Dunbar, and Southfield, these children are being snatched. Thank you.
Is somebody here from the police department? Go ahead. I'm going to let the deputy chief respond to that. Anytime there is a report of children taken, what DPD has done has been remarkable. They've had some successes, but why don't you talk about what we're doing?
Testing 1, 2, 3. So anytime there's a child taken, we immediately respond to that. We use any resources that we have, whether it's video. We use video to look for children. We do a canvas in the neighborhood. We do any type of cellular or technology resources that we can utilize in order to locate children. What we don't have is a problem with children being snatched off the street. We don't have that problem. That was one incident, but that's not an overwhelming problem that we have here in the city of Detroit. We have a missing person unit. We have a missing person robust response, and that's something that our department takes very serious.
Let me tell you about your police chief. When there is an issue with a child and DPD finds that child, my phone might ring at 11 o'clock at night. But Chief White, it touches him so deeply, he's got to pick up the phone and call me because he knows I want to hear what they did. DPD takes every one of these cases very personally. Okay, who's next? Go ahead. Yes, sir. Tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Amir. I'm from here. I just moved back in 2017.
Okay, I've had 3 strokes since September, and I'm having problems getting housing. And I don't know how to use a computer that well. Now they want me to do it online, and I can't get any help.
So what can we do to help you?
Help me get housing.
You need housing.
I need
Where's
somewhere to
Donald
live.
Rancher? All right, go ahead. Okay, who's here? So Donald Rencher is the head of our housing department. He runs all of housing and redevelopment, and he's going to come up and take your case himself. Donald, the gentleman is right up there in the front row, and let's see if we can't get him into a good place. All right? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We're back online? Okay, we're going to try one more time online, and let's see if we've solved the problem.
Okay, so we're going to try Destiny and Noah again. Destiny and Noah, if you can unmute yourself.
Destiny and Noah, can you hear us now?
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, hello, good evening. My name is Destiny. I'm here with my brother Noah, and we are a part of the Burns Seneca Fisher Junior Block Club, and we are concerned about the conditions of our sidewalks.
The Burns Seneca Fisher Junior Block Club has repeatedly asked the mayor in these meetings to fix the sidewalks that have been broken from Burn trees at Fisher all the way down to Gratiot to Mac time after time for 3 years. Still after asking numerous times, our promises have been crushed with the sidewalks on Fisher. As a part of the Burns Seneca Fisher Block Club, we would like to keep our community safe, but these sidewalks are holding us back to achieving this goal. I say this because it's not safe for an elderly or a young child to walk on these sidewalks without tripping, stumbling, and hurting themselves. Also, some areas do not have sidewalks for people to walk on, which increases people to walk on the street that causes another hazard for our community. This time, will you really care about your community at Burns, Seneca, and Fisher, and will you make the people work for you and us do their jobs that they say they're going to fix our sidewalks, or you break our promises again?
Okay, we don't need him. I got time. I know I'm not always going to give you the answer that you want to hear, but on sidewalks, if the city tree, a tree between the sidewalk and the street, broke the sidewalk, it's the city's responsibility. Ron Brundage will come in, they'll replace it. Is this District 5? So this would be District 5. So let's get out and look at it. The ones that the city tree broke are our responsibilities. Sidewalks are otherwise the homeowner's responsibility. Now that's a problem in neighborhoods where we've got a bunch of vacant lots. But we will come out and take a look and see what we can do. But we've got a lot of neighborhoods in that situation, and we're going to have to find a significant means of funding sidewalk repair at some point. But in the meantime, let's get out, let's see what we can do in that area. Ron, when can we start doing cement again on sidewalks with the weather? Mid-April, we're going to start back up with the sidewalks where the city is responsible for them, and we'll take a look and see if there's anything else we can do to help you. All right, whose turn is it here? Go ahead. Yes, sir. Tell us your neighborhood and your name.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Dwayne Hines, and I'm from the east side of Detroit. I want to know, in the program, is there a limit on the amount of residents that can apply for those scholarships? I mean, do you have, I know there was a figure like 8,000 or something like that. Is that all the scholarships that's available?
So we've got 1,200 right now. If we fill those 1,200, think about that. If 1,200 families move from poverty to the middle class in this city, how much would that change the city? If we prove it on the first 1,200, I'm going to go find the money and we'll keep expanding it. All right? Okay, Kim, we got anybody on the phone? Okay, Renard, are you still with us?
Good evening, Mayor. Can you hear me?
We can.
All right. I'm not sure what was going on beforehand. All right, so I'm in the Midtown neighborhood. Wanted to ask you, Mayor, how do you bring the driver's wage up to an equitable level in comparison to other bus systems? And what is your plan and strategy to make an overhaul to make DDOT a career of choice, one that's a rewarding career path. I just think to solve the operator crisis, do you have any sort of ideas in terms of working with our high schools or VOTEC centers or community colleges to directly recruit bus riders from there, and considering to increase the wage as well too, to make this a choice employer? Thank you.
Yep. You're asking exactly the right question. So some folks remember I ran the smart bus system when it was going to close in 1991 and turned it around to 1995. I know what it means to put quality service on the road. We are not putting quality service on the road. We're just not. And so all I can tell you is what I'm doing. Every single week, I am now personally sitting with the entire DDOT management team. And it isn't all DDOT's fault. When they can't get procurement from parts, they don't get a bus on the road. When we're not paying a competitive wage, we've got an issue. If we're not doing a good enough job recruiting, there are a whole lot of factors that have gone into this that haven't been DDOT's fault. There are some things that have been. But I'm not really interested because I'm the mayor. It's my fault. And that's why I'm going to these meetings. I'm going to stay in these meetings every single week. And what I will tell you is this. We've got to fill about 60 driver positions. And you're going to see us increase bus service in April. We're going to increase it again in June. We're going to increase it again in September. But you can't just take anybody and put them on the street. These folks have jobs that people's lives are at stake. And so we're going to get quality people, quality training, and it is going to take paying these folks more money, and I expect to be sitting down. We've got a great union leadership at the ATU. I expect to be sitting down with them in the next 2 weeks to put together a plan that will have us get a full set of drivers and the kind of quality folks that the people of Detroit deserve. All right, who's next?
Malik Shelton.
Go ahead.
I'd like the residents of the city of Detroit to know that Mayor Duggan and his CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, is using a numbered letter that was hatched out of the Michigan Treasury Department to artificially boost up the city of Detroit's real and personal property value by an additional $11 to $12 billion so that it can continue to load up debt, bond debt, on the backs and on the necks of the residents of this city. You were wrong, Duggan, when you said that our court case that we have in court was overruled. I'm the one that argued it, pro per, in front of Judge Kennedy. He said that I was in the wrong jurisdiction. He also said your problem is with the Duggan administration. He said that the state may have, that the guidance was fraudulent, but nobody told the city of Detroit to follow it. And by the city of Detroit, they're talking about the Duggan administration as well as the CFO. I'm demanding that you not use that fraudulent number.
Okay, well, I was trying to pull up the court case, but the court said clearly and unequivocally you were wrong and your case was dismissed. That settles the case. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Johnny Wilford. I want to thank Carlin Steele. Thank you for having my bag be there for me. Thank you. I have some great district managers. Okay, I have my papers here, so I can just give it to the department. Okay, this is for sinkholes that we need to take care of. It's really, they damaging the whole street.
Okay, hang on. The sinkhole is where?
The sinkhole is on Ashton, on Hassel, between Ashton and Southfield.
Gary Brown, where are you?
Yeah, come on. I need to.
Okay, Gary, let's go get the sinkhole.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. How many sinkholes have you got on that list?
I got 2 sinkholes.
Okay, I sent Gary pictures of sinkholes myself, so go ahead.
Okay,
all right.
We got water standing on the street, on the blocks in front of the houses. I got the paper for that. I got sidewalks that need to really be taken care of. I got information on that, and I got one tree that's really bad, need to be torn down.
So tell me about the tree. Where is it located?
It's right on it's on Trojan between Southfield Service Drive.
Is it on the city property?
It's definitely on
Okay, Brad. So Brad Dick is right here. So Brad's going to get the address from you before you leave.
Okay, I got the
And
paper.
Gary Brown is coming to get your addresses.
Okay.
I don't know that I can do anything with the sidewalk, but we'll get the sinkholes in the tree.
Okay, I can give them the paper for the ones who do sidewalk. And then one more thing. DTE came out and put up a new pole. I want them to come and clean that debris
All right.
around my pole, because
All right.
it's a mess.
All right.
So can you send?
So which city council district are you in?
I'm at Tate, District 1.
Okay, so let's see, is Carla here? So Carla, would you please call DTE and get them out? DTE is really responsive when we send them a request. So your district manager is going to call DTE. They'll come out and clean it up. All right, thank you. All right, are we back on the phone? Go ahead.
Marguerite, Matt,
Okay.
if you have a
All
question
right.
or a comment, you can unmute yourself. Marguerite.
Marguerite, you're up.
All right, we're going to go to Joshua Colbert.
Joshua, can you hear us?
Mr. Colbert.
Mr. Coleman. Okay, I don't know what to say about the call-in system. Oh, here we go. Okay. Mr. Colbert, can we hear you? Okay, so we will, those who are calling in, if we get it solved, we'll come back to you. Otherwise, we're going to just stay here. Go ahead, yes.
Hello.
Tell us your name and what neighborhood you're from.
My name is Jacqueline Cuevas. I'm from Southwest Detroit. I'm a big fan of yours and your administration. You've helped my business a lot. I'm a native Detroiter, a disabled business owner. I bought a beer and wine store in 2020, right before pandemic, existing beer and wine. I am purchasing the lot from Land Bank to make a parking lot. We became aware that it was never given SDM use, permission to be a beer and wine. So we were almost given a cease and desist. Director Bell was able to prove that that it was existing. We were giving the SDM usage. We didn't have to close our business. I'm very grateful for that. Thank
So
you.
he fixed it and got you your parking lot?
He fixed it. However, I have a liquor license that I purchased before we knew this was a problem, and I have over $1,000 investment that I can't use, and I need help. And
You can't, no, hang on, you can't use it, why?
I need with the
Is
zoning.
Amanda Elias here?
And I need help.
Okay, give me somebody from DEGC. We're going to solve this. Come on down. Okay, I want to get this solved. So we've got a business owner here who's bought a business, got a liquor license, solved a parking lot problem. We can't solve a zoning problem, and we got to get her business up and running. All right? And so if you'll get it started, let's get Amanda Elias in when everybody's texting her right now. We're going to get this thing solved for you. All right? Dave Bell, are you here? Are you up on this, Dave? Okay, so Dave Bell's going to jump on this too. We're going to put the whole A-team on this one. And then when you get open, will you invite me out to the store opening? All right, I'll come out and see it. All right, who's next? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I am Mimi Olom Kayam Kabal, the Grand Anchor Chief and Council of the Mississippian Nations of Aborigine American People, according to the Great Law of Peace, and also Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, and excluding Indians not taxed. We are not to be confused with Native Americans. I have had government-to-government meetings with City Council President Mary Sheffield and Ms. Rochelle Riley, who's the Arts and Culture head of the Arts Culture. They both have made agreements with me and refused to carry them out. This was done based on an act of genocide by Jamin Jordan, who has gone to both of them and have said that I do not have the right to identify myself as an Aborigine, and that I am trying to force you to identify me as one, which does not have to be done. I am identified because I am who I say I am. Now, if this continues, how can we even participate in a program like this when we are constantly dismissed? What I am demanding is that someone from this program reach out to me, because things are different for our people as it is for others. We don't require a Social Security. We don't require a birth certificate, and we do not require a driver's license. Who will stand and work with us?
So is Rochelle Riley here? All right, we got to fix a problem with our cabinet members showing up for these sessions. So that's step one. But second, I need to find out what happened on this program. Jamon Jordan is doing a great job for us. Elisa, would you please follow up and let's see what happened? But I think you ought to be able to identify in any way that you want, and we should support that decision. Okay? All right. No, I'm not doing that again. Come on.
Residents of Detroit, the case number is 22-000169. I encourage y'all to look up that case and y'all to see what the judge's response was. The judge did not say that you was in the clear on that fabricated $10 billion. What the judge told Mr. Shelton was that he couldn't identify a unique injury than the rest of the residents in Detroit, meaning that we all was harmed. They also repeatedly said that that was fraud. So again, 22-000169. I want to say this. Voting rights do not just entail to being able to elect the official in office. Voting rights also entail to be able to regulate those officials while they're in office, i.e. bonds, referendums, initiatives. He have repeatedly, him meaning the mayor, issued billions in illegal debt on the backs of the residents with no notice and no voter authorization. He know what he did.
All right. So I'm gonna find this court case, but this is one of the things, and we've seen it nationally in politics from the other side. In September, the Court of Appeal said case has no merit, dismissed. But in this town, people repeat things that are factually incorrect over and over and over in the face of clear rulings, clear decisions, and so I guess you're just going to keep repeating them. Go ahead. Sorry. Yes, who's next? Okay. Oh, yes, sir. We got your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got 2 questions. You know,
Okay.
my address is Plymouth, 14421 Plymouth, for 40 years. I've been in business there for 40 years. They're right across the street from where they're doing that $15 million project, the old Chrysler building.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the Bright, I think it's Blight, that's
Yeah.
Blight.
Blight, yeah.
That program. I think they're abusing people with those tickets. They just put a ticket on your place. They don't give you no warning, no nothing. Somebody can come through there overnight and throw some stuff on your property. Blight come along, he see it, write you a ticket, and you will even know you got the ticket.
So it's an interesting problem that we've got, because in general, people are responsible for their own property, but there's times stuff is illegally dumped in a way that you had nothing to do with. And Dave Bell, why don't you talk about how we handle those cases?
Thank you, Mayor. So what we usually do is we issue a warning notice before the ticket is issued. And then after there's no compliance, then we will issue a ticket. But I will sit down with you right now and get the details, and we'll dig into this a little bit further. Okay? Thank you, sir.
All right. We will follow up. All right. Who's next? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Carolyn Hughes. I call frequently into the City Council asking about $125 million worth of debt, bond debt was sold on the citizens in the city of Detroit on April 11th, 2011 for a queue line that was supposed to enhance public transportation. I find that the queue line is now private. I want to know how $125 million was sold in debt on the citizens after we just came out of bankruptcy. My house went into bankruptcy, not for anything I did, for something the system did. And I want to know how you rectify a transportation system that is touted to be public that's now private, that we helped, that we paid for, and we got federal dollars, and we got state dollars that are committed until 2039. I want to know how it happened. I want to know where it is. I asked Mr. Watson the same thing. What happened to that asset? I have not had an answer.
So
please answer the question.
Okay, so let me start with a question. When you say the bonds were voted on in 2011, the 2011 bonds had nothing to do with the queue line. and that was before bankruptcy. Bankruptcy happened in 2014. The Q line was not built with a nickel of city money. It was built with private money, and they got a federal Tiger grant. But the Q line is a private transit line. It's run by a private operation, and it was not built with city funds. No city funds go into it today. So there's a Q line board of directors. The state of Michigan has decided to support it. That was a decision the state legislature made, but no city money is going into the Q line. Never has. Okay, well, go ahead. All right.
How you doing, Mr. Mayor?
Good.
I'm Nicholas Dubose. I'm on the west side of Detroit. I had a question about Detroit at Work, where I think approximately 8 or 9 months ago, I was looking at the diesel mechanic program, and it wasn't available. And I just rechecked on it, and apparently it didn't have legs to it at that point, but it's still on the website. I'm a truck driver. I own a trucking company. I want to know when is that available, because I want to.
Diesel mechanic program. Who knows the details? You are beyond my expertise, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Thanks. I'm sorry, sir. You're saying you want to get into the diesel?
Yeah, I want to get into it, and it hadn't been available. I did have a question for the Blight guy, too. I wanted to talk to him personally,
Okay.
but the diesel mechanic program, it just hasn't been available, and I've been kind of following it.
Yes.
And I want to get involved, but, it's not ready for me yet. So.
Yeah, so we should talk to you after, but Terry Weems, who runs the operations of DESC, says that it is up and available. So we should connect, yeah. And it just went up, so we should connect after. Was your second question Detroit at Work?
Yeah, it was just for the Blight. I wanted to talk to the Blight guy if I could.
Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
still here.
Yeah, no, that was it.
Okay. All right. Do we solve it? Is the diesel mechanic training program open or not?
The diesel mechanic training program is open.
Gotcha. All right. I learn something every day. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Deborah Pickett. I'd like to acknowledge the good things you're doing for the citizens of Detroit. My question is, I'm a 32-year retiree from the city of Detroit, and I know during the bankruptcy they took all our benefits and everything. Since the city has all this money, why haven't you considered giving the retirees some of that money in the cost of living allowance?
So let's talk about what we have done, which is when we left bankruptcy, there was a shortage in the pension fund of more than $300 million on the projections. With the support of Detroit City Council, we have, over the last 8 years, over and above what we're required to do, put aside another $330 million into the retirees' pension, so nobody ever has to go through what you went through in 2014 and have it reduced again. The court order from the bankruptcy judge prohibits the city from doing anything to modify the pension program until the end of 2024. So if City Council wanted, or we want to do something right now, we can't legally do it. Making changes to the pension program is something we've already started talking to the unions about, but it would happen in 2025 at the earliest. Go ahead.
Good evening. Mr. Columbus, Brightmore. In conjunction with the Jumpstart program, it's a wonderful idea and it's woke completely. There is, although, something in conjunction with all the children and teens that attended certain schools that is a stipend to prohibit them from meeting certain prerequisites that are placed in the Jumpstart program. For instance, when a child walked the halls of a Redford High School, they were issued a ticket, and that ticket precluded them from applying for a driver's license. And now that so many civil infractions and misdemeanors are no longer considered hazardous, jail time worthy for personal bonds being issued, can Jumpstart align themselves to incorporate past due discretions such as children?
Yeah, so Clean Slate can do that. So Carrie, is Carrie still here? Carrie's still here. So, but it's an interesting question. So we went to Lansing 2 years ago because it was an odd thing. If you committed a felony 5 years or more ago, you could get it expunged. you couldn't get a number of the traffic and license-related things expunged no matter what. It made no sense. We got Republicans and Democrats both 2 years ago to change the law. So all those old traffic things could be cleared out. And Carrie Jones is coming your way. There she is. If you have a friend who's got that situation, she'll help your friend get it expunged. All right? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I'm back again. I didn't finish my 1 minute. My other question was, I participated in your at work program. I took up the truck driver class, got my CDLA, but the city would not hire me because I'm getting a pension from the city. I don't think that's fair. You know, we can't support on the income we're getting, but they won't hire me because I'm getting a pension.
So this is an interesting issue because we've had a policy that if you're a retiree, you can't draw a city paycheck, and I don't agree with that. Have we solved this? Go ahead. Let's see if we got a solution to this. Here, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we do have a solution for that. We would hire you as what we consider a temporary administrative assistant, and then we would be able to hire you. So I will come up and get your number. Yes, and you'll still collect your pension.
Okay, hang on. So you're saying we can hire this employee as a truck driver and she can still collect her pension through the task program. So we have a program now. We got it fixed. And so Denise Starr, our HR director, will get you signed up. All right. But you're right. It made no sense that nobody's going to unretire to come back. So we had to get that fixed. Yes.
Hi, hello. My name's Chelsea Salame. I represent Grandmont Rosedale Development Corp., as well as the Grand River Business Association. My question for you, Mayor Duggan, is last year the Strategic Neighborhood Fund completed the Grand River streetscape. In result of the streetscape, there were some defective safety measures, and the independent roadway safety audit was conducted through the Michigan Department of Transportation and the City Planning Department. My question is, what were the resolutions that came out of that safety audit, and what does the city plan to do to address those failures?
So Councilman James Tate and I just had a long conversation about this the other day. Of course, this was an MDOT project, but we were actively participating as planners. And the councilman and I are going to sit down with both MDOT and the planning director and deal with the safety issues, but also I don't feel like we made as much progress on the beautification side on Grand River that we did on Livernois and that we did on Kercheval and we did on a lot of others. So Councilman Tate and I are going to be out and we are going to deal both with the safety issues and with the beautification issues. Okay? Yes.
I just want to make an announcement. Tomorrow night, on Tuesday, 6 to 8:30, the Downtown Development Authority and Illich asked for some more tax breaks. That's going to be at Cass Tech Auditorium, 6 to 8, tomorrow night. And you get 1 minute for public comment. There were very few people there. They're using AMI, which we know isn't fair to Detroiters who have a lot lower income than where the AMI is generated in a larger area. I think that we should have free internet and free transit, actually for everybody, but at least start out with those students that you talked about tonight. I want to know, are they going to be civil servants when they work for the city? And could we get driver's ed for all the kids in high school paid for with the government money so that these people learn how to be defensive, safe drivers? That would reduce all our insurance and make us a little saner the way people drive. I'd like to also have more right to know about our...
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. All right, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Summer Boxley, and I'm a policy analyst at the Metro Detroit Black Business Alliance. This is a question for Detroit at Work. Aside from access to capital, small business owners in the city of Detroit need staff. More than 50% of the city of Detroit's workforce is employed by small businesses, yet we are struggling to find and keep staff. We need additional resources and focus on small businesses from Detroit at Work to mitigate the workforce shortage crisis. This includes process improvement, worker incentives for small businesses like paying for Safe Serve certification in the hospitality industry, and a separate section for business applications on the Detroit at Work website. Small businesses cannot easily access Detroit at Work for hiring, especially retail and hospitality industries. We need Detroit at Work to collaborate with more business-serving organizations to host job fairs, training on how to manage staff, and more. We're looking forward to working with you.
Yeah. So thank you for your comments, and we couldn't agree with you more. So first, Detroit at Work considers small businesses its own industry. I don't know if you remember the slide we were talking about with Jumpstart, the small businesses working with a small business and starting a small business were called out separately. So I actually think I have a meeting on the books already with Charity and our Detroit at Work team. So we'll be talking about what you just raised. Thank you for your comments.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Brother Cunningham, how you doing, Mr. Oglesby? Appreciate you, sir.
I'm going to keep working until you're happy. I know we got a ways to go, but you're on the right track in what you're having to say.
I really do appreciate all the efforts, and my friend, we still meet, Dan Dirks and I, often. And but I appreciate you when you brought him on and brought Mr. Oglesby on. Renard made a good comment. I had heard that in Member Callaway's district, I don't know if the schools and DDOT are, if they're working together or potentially happening, or I heard a rumor of that, but that would be a great thing if the high schools and the VOCSEC centers will recruit, because the bus system is bad after 6 p.m. and on the weekends especially. I'm a cab driver. I go around, I give out bus tickets and hand warmers to folks waiting at the stops, and people donate them to me. But the bus system really needs to get better, and I agree with Renard's statements today. And thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm going to stay with it until you're happy, but you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to get that service better. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, my name is Jim Dwight, a 46-year resident of Detroit and a member of the Detroit Right to Counsel Coalition. From January 3rd to January 20th of this year, there were 287 writ of evictions filed at 36th District Court. That is 746 people, including children, who received an eviction notice in the first 3 weeks of this year. The Detroit Stout Report stated that tens of thousands of Detroiters could receive housing justice with a fully funded right to counsel ordinance. One item from the Stout Report highlighted the cost savings of $11.2 million in state and local funding for the Detroit Public Schools Community District. Mr. Mayor, it's okay, tear down some dilapidated structures, that's fine. But at the same time, strengthen our beautiful community by keeping people in their homes and fully fund the right to counsel ordinance. Thank you.
So I support right to counsel. I've supported Council Member Mary Sheffield, who has championed this for a long time. When COVID hit, remember all the talk? There's going to be an eviction crisis. Everybody's going to be out. It didn't happen. We partnered with the federal government and provided legal services for 23,000 families facing eviction, got them federal assistance that paid the back rent, got their cases dismissed by putting an attorney in every single courtroom to do that. That federal program is winding down now. It's at the very end. And so what Council President Sheffield came and said is, look, when the federal program's gone, it's been great that you knew if you showed up in court there'd be a lawyer there for you. What are we going to do from there? And I'm really appreciative of the Gilbert Foundation for their contribution. And the Council President and I are in agreement that right to counsel has to continue. We're going to see how much the demand is this year, is before we get to July 1st. And last week, Council President and I had our first conversation about next year's budget. And I can tell you the very first subject she brought up was we've got to figure out the right level on right to counsel. I support it, and we're going to end up with a good solution. Yes.
Hey, how you doing, Mayor?
Good.
My name is Ronaldo Bowles. I'm from East One Connections. You came out and supported us. I want to thank the whole staff, Mary, Liggins, and Perkins, everybody. My thing, I'm trying to get some green eyes over in that neighborhood. You've seen how bad it is in that area. The houses not, going down. There's no rebuilding between Shoemaker, Garland, St. Clair, Harding. That's the area I grew up. I probably helped destroy too at one time. And so I've been working tirelessly. East One Connection and staff been working tirelessly to clean the neighborhood up. I just need some green eyes. I need some partnerships. I need somebody that's sincere, that care about that. Chrysler already took St. Jean and Warren. It's a lot of things over there. If y'all go look over there on Shoemaker and you look on from Mac all the way up, even from Mac and Bewick up, it's some building, but not that much. So I just need some green eyes to come in partnership with East One Connections over in that area. I'm on St. Clair 5701. St. Clair, my name is Renato Bowes. Thank you for everything you do. You came out and supported. You came on the east side, and you already know that's a rough neighborhood, but you was there. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. Mary, I love y'all, the whole staff. Anybody I forgot, charge to my head, not my heart. Detroit, we need to love each other. We didn't come here to argue. We came here to jumpstart. Jumpstart is what it's all about. That jumpstart is going to help a lot of people that get out of prison. I served 25 years in prison. The jumpstart going to help a lot of people that's out there right now, don't have a GED, looking for a job. I work full-time, Detroit Recovery Project, helping these men, and they are broken. They giving up, and they out there killing and robbing. They need hope. They need another chance. They need jumpstart. Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, good evening, Mayor. I just wanted to start with saying that there's been a 5G tower placed in my neighborhood. Since then, I've been experiencing multiple complications within my body, aches in my abdominal area, chest area, tinnitus. It was billed just like out of the blue. I have written to the zone member where my property is located, no response. There's also equipment directly in my backyard from AT&T. I want to know why when I look across the street and I don't live from Grosse Pointe, I don't see any of this equipment. To me, it's unfair the way they just come and do things in our city. They don't give notification to the residents. They don't care. When confronted with them directly, they don't respond. Really quick, 14 seconds, I just want to say that there's a tropical rainforest in my backyard. I love animals, but can they come cut some of that rubbish down because I don't want to see them. I literally saw an owl in my yard. I saw pheasants. I've seen things, and I keep my yard pretty clean. I brought equipment to take care of my property, and that's my time. I have more to say.
Hang on one second. I want to address both things. First, the state legislature passed a law that they can put the 5G under any existing poles. Grosse Pointe is just as mad as Detroit. They're going into any city. They're putting them where they want. And so I'm not diminishing your experiences, but at least there hasn't been evidence of a health risk yet. But I was one of the mayors that lobbied against the bill that allowed to come in and use our light poles, our poles, to put the 5G up and pay us next to nothing. So I'm not happy about it either. But talk to me about your street and the growth. What would you like us to do?
So as a woman, I have been in my yard and I bought a couple of properties surrounding me just so I could maintain them. I literally fought with squatters next door.
What street are you on?
Can I say that?
No, it's all right. Never mind.
Okay.
What area? What general intersection?
I'm on the east side, and I'm new to Detroit, per se. I moved here, and I like it because I am a contributor. So on my own, I cut my yards by myself. On my own, I've did what I can for debris. But when it regrows, as a woman, my body gets tired of constantly rehabilitating. I invested money in a property next door only to have squatters who were doing things with young girls come back and burn it down after the police department finally got them out of there after 2 years. I was treated like a nuisance for reporting seeing young girls, minors under the age of 16 in this property. I literally fought with men by myself and literally stood toe to toe and was treated like, a nuisance. But all that.
Well, what can I do today? Are you saying that I can't do anything about trees or brush that are on your property? Is it on your property or is it other property?
So on my property, they're behind my property. So they're in the alleyway.
Are they in the alley? So let us take a look. So Brad, why don't you get the details and let's see if we can't get into the alley and help you clean that up, make it a little bit better for you. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Mayor Duggan.
Good evening.
My name is Jacqueline Sprouse.
I first came upon your campaign when you first started running. So I moved out the city doing Kilpatrick election because the city was horrible. And I moved to the suburbs. I have stayed in the suburbs for 15 years. But 2 years ago, I moved back to the city of Detroit.
All right.
Because I wanted to help, and plus I wanted to grow the community that I am residing in. I took over my mother's house. I turned it into a business. I'm an entrepreneur. So at this point in time, it's a home health care agency. So I just wanted to say that. Like I said, my name is Jacqueline Sproles, and I'm still here to help you.
And you're not mad about anything?
Huh?
You're not mad about anything?
Not
All
yet.
right. Okay, well,
Not yet.
All right. Yeah. Give us some time. But hey, welcome back, and we're glad your business is in Detroit. Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay. This is my second comment.
That's all right.
The Greenway Project, and I know, Mr. Mayor, you came over there, off of Tireman. In that area, residents are fighting people who want to bring marijuana growers and marijuana dispensaries in that area that we fought against. Now, I'm an advanced practice registered nurse. I love that Jumpstart program because we need more nurses that I'm trying to mentor, nurses, congressmen, and pilots. We can't have weed in our system. But the issue that I'm having, especially with all of this violence, which marijuana does control the frontal lobe of the brain, we're seeing, I was at a school board meeting, these children are eating gummies. And what happens when they chew gummies, they think they're going to get high from like the weed, which goes to the brain, which is fat tissue. But that gummies have to go through the liver and comes out a toxic form, and the kids wind up in the hospital. And I'm in healthcare, and I'm in the hospital. So I'm just saying that we will appreciate if I don't see nobody putting dispensaries downtown. They're putting it in the community. I would like to see them down next to Dan Gilbert's building, but they won't do it. They're putting it in our black communities, which is a discrimination toward our people. Thank you.
Okay. So, however I may feel about marijuana dispensaries, the people of the city of Detroit voted 70% to make recreational marijuana legal. And so Councilman Tate has done a very good job, I think, of passing an ordinance that keeps a buffer from churches, from parks, from schools, and the like. But we regulate them as the law allows us to do. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is William Davis. I'm president of the Detroit Active Retired Employee Association. What I would like to see, I'm pleased to see all these programs and stuff that's going on that's helping many, many groups in the city of Detroit. Especially, I'm pleased to see more stuff helping actual Detroit residents, by getting a GED and training and what have you. That's a good thing. But also, many newer retirees, I'm talking about the retirees that started working for the city at the Coleman and Young Gannon office, feel that they was disadvantaged and continue to be disadvantaged from the bankruptcy. We would like to see the city doing more in whatever different capacities you can to help the city of Detroit retirees, because the city can and should do more. And I know for a fact that the city of Detroit has got a number of waivers dealing with the bankruptcy, dealing with the plan of adjustment. So more can and should be done. And the bankruptcy didn't start in 2014. It started in 2013. It was in 2014 that my pension and thousands of other pensioners had their pension cut. And, we're looking forward to some money coming in the fiscal year 2024.
So whatever year it is, the Judge Rhodes, I think, ended the bankruptcy December, 10th or so of 2014 with a 10-year order. And so that's what we're dealing with. So, but we're going to have that conversation in about 2 years. It's going to be the retirees have a conversation. The active employees would like to talk about the pension program that they have. So that's a conversation that we're going to have as a city about 2 years from now. All right. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Anaida Flores, and I represent Rescue My Nature Now, which is a nonprofit, and we focus on developing blighted lots to educational green spaces in neighborhoods with majority acquisitions through the Detroit Land Bank. Stewardship of land is important to us, and we've been working at removing years of blight from illegal dumping and overgrown tree brush in these lots to improve quality of life. We're working on coming into compliance in these parcels, but may not be going as quickly as BC would like. We've been diligently working with our district manager, Kiana Sessoms, and with their help, arranged a walkthrough with Inspector Nunn at BC to better understand our goals of creating clean and safer educational green spaces. Thank you to Inspector Nunn for hearing our concerns and providing feedback on next steps in achieving compliance. We'd like to see BC work better with nonprofits, especially those who are actively working in their community. And we want to work in partnership with the City of Detroit, and would like to see a process put together for better communication between city departments and nonprofits.
All right, and this is an interesting problem that we have, right? The land bank will sell a house that's vacant with an agreement you fix it up in 9 months. Now, if somebody's working on that house, we don't want to take it back after 9 months. On the other hand, the neighbors are saying to us after 12 months, 18 months, hey, a land bank, you said it was going to be fixed up, and the same is true on the lots. We're trying to find the balance between giving you a reasonable time to improve it, but also for the neighbors who have an expectation that you're going to make the timetable you're committed to. So we're going to try to find a middle ground with you that's fair, because we don't want the land back, right? But we also want to be able to know there's really a path. Does that make sense? Okay. So thank you very much for what you're doing. Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Duggan.
Good evening.
I've been in Detroit soon to be 73 years. I've been in my property since 1977. Since our neighborhood went down, I've been taking care of 4 blocks. I've had trees towed down. I've had water mains that people went in other empty houses and stole the copper out, and it was in the running for like 5 years or better. What I'm concerned about is the 2 properties on each side of me that I've been taking care of faithfully. One since 2005. My neighbor was put out because she lost her job. Somebody started stripping the house before she even got out of there good. So I've been taking care of it since 2005. And the land, first it was the cities. Came down to the city, applied for it. They didn't have nothing on it. I came down to the land bank in 2005. 2014 is when land bank got it. They keep trying to say they put it on auction. I should have that house. I've been taking care of that house ever since 2005. I am now being 73 just about. I cut that grass, I do the snow, I cut the bushes, and I'm a senior. And I had to buy a chainsaw. I don't even have a tree in my yard to take care of that. I use my gas. I use the electric lawnmower when my gas go down. I do this. And I advocate, like I said, we have trees in the neighborhoods that neighbors need taken down. I've reported them to ombudsman.
So tell me about the house. Is it boarded up and secured now?
Well, now what they're doing, they sent, I don't know if the land bank or the city, day before yesterday, they sent somebody out there to start working on it and cleaning it out.
Okay.
And yes, I was pissed because I've been doing it since 2005.
So
haven't been paid a penny.
Okay.
And then, seems like every time I make a comment at city council, like I talked to Councilwoman President Mary Sheffield, and I was talking about lots and stuff that I have been stewarding for over 30 years, and she said she's gonna see that I get that lot. So I paid, but then they claimed they didn't get the money. I used my charge card again. They claimed they get the money. It's right across the street from me. I've been doing it. My mother used to live in the house before it was torn down next door from me. A guy moved in there about 2, maybe 3 years ago. He put a fence around it. It's not his property. I've been taking care of it, and I've been applying for that lot. I have paperwork. I got to find it all. I have my paperwork to back me up, Mayor Duggan. It's just that I've been doing a whole lot. And like I said, for neighbors, that the trees is growing over their fences. If it fall on their house, they're going to sue the city.
Okay, you've convinced me. Yeah, you've convinced me. So Ray Solomon, I don't know what we've got to do. We've sold 25,000 lots to neighbors, so a lot of people have figured it out. But the bigger problem is when somebody says, I want the house next to me, because most people don't have the resources to renovate the house next to them. But Ray, would you follow up? And if I need to intervene, I will. Where's Hassan? Hassan's here. Hassan, will you stand up? Hassan will be your lawyer. And let's see if we can't work it out for this longtime resident to acquire the house next door without a lot of bureaucracy. All right? Okay, let's see what we can do. Go ahead. Who's next?
Good evening, Mayor Duggan. My name is Thurman Lagon Jr., President of Rescue My Nature Now, residents of Derby Street, District 3. We've been working really close with Kayana to clean up that area. And
you've done fabulous.
Well, we're not done yet. We're just getting started.
You still got the beehives over there?
I still got them.
Okay, I'm not crazy about visiting them, but go ahead. All right, go ahead.
So we like to see an improvement along the John R. and State Fair corridor. And this improvement would go from 8 Mile to 6 Mile along John R. and State Fair from Woodward to roughly DeQuinder And I've took the liberty of identifying some lots in those areas that are city-owned as well as land bank-owned. Had a meeting with the land bank this morning. We just need to go ahead. We've partnered with American Forest to tree those areas. We're ready for engagement to see what it is the community would like to see in those areas.
What you've done is tremendous. You've taken the teenagers from that neighborhood. You've got them growing. You've got them as young entrepreneurs. Whatever you want, I'm on your side. So, Ray, would you make sure that we work out? But I tell you, that kind of John R. Area it didn't have a whole lot of people looking out for it. You've worked wonders over there, and we're going to support you.
I appreciate it, Mayor Duggan.
Right.
And kudos to GSD, BC, our friends Brad and Zach, the alley cleanup crew. Those guys have been tremendous. GDYT performed great. They cleaned up that area last year, so kudos to what you're doing, sir.
And you keep showing up and asking us to do more, because you're right.
You can count on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor. My name is Carol Jenkins, and I'm with the Foyer Street Block Club between Eaton and Chalfont. I have two issues. My first issue is with the area of Grand River and Greenfield, where the old Montgomery wards and Federals used to be.
Right, I remember.
And I'm just wondering when they're going to start doing some improvements in that particular area. At the beginning of the planning, it was supposed to extend to that area.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it stopped when they got Grand River and Southfield. So I would just like to know if it's a possibility that they're going to eventually start doing something to beautify that area, because I honestly believe it would be minimal cost just to start to do something to make it look better if they can't take and tear it down and reconstruct it.
So we're moving through the priorities of the projects that seem hopeless. The train station that could never get renovated, the Packard plant could never be gotten rid of, that old federal building. The entire neighborhood is dependent on us solving the problem. There's got to be a way to reuse that building or part of that building, but it is now risen. Now we got the Packard plant under control, and Montgomery Ward Federals is the next one on the list. All right?
I want to add one thing.
Go ahead.
And this is a compliment. I am going currently, and this is for all the seniors in the room, they have a computer class at Kroll Recreation Center on Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay.
It is a fabulous program.
Really?
We started from 0. We're up to 30 members now. Keep adding more every month.
So
it's an
Crowell Rec
excellent
Center.
program.
It sounds
Thank
like
you.
I need to be going to it. All right. I'll teach you computers. Yes.
Hi, good evening, Mayor Duggan. My name is Roger Wilkes. I'm the president of Crossroads Community Association. We're partners with Rescue My Nature Now, the organization that Mr. Lagan just brought up there. So our organization spans from 8 Mile to 6 Mile State Fair between Woodward and DeQuinder. And one of the major issues we're facing in our community right now is regarding illegal dumping. So we are working hand in hand with Kayana, of course. You know she's amazing. But it's still a major challenge for us. So our question would be, what ways can we partner together to more aggressively tackle that?
So we start with, and I don't know if you've noticed this, in the last 6 weeks in the city, we have doubled the number of DPW trucks out cleaning up illegal dump sites. This city was looking terrible. And Ron Brundage, with help from his partners, doubled the numbers of crews that are out there. So we are making progress, and we're going to keep going. We've got a lot of ideas. One of the things that I think we're going to do is when somebody buys a land bank house to renovate it, a lot of times you see the debris out on the curbs, and the garbage trucks won't pick it up. We're going to start to offer a dumpster with the house and tell people, put it in the dumpster where it belongs. And as long as nobody tells a secret, I'll tell you the other thing I want to do. I want bulk pickup every week back in the city. And we're gonna go do that. But in the meantime, Ron knows where you live. And Ron, maybe we could have the crews in that John R. 75 area sweep through more frequently. Let's make sure we get it out of there. There aren't a lot of houses in many of those stretches. It's prime dumping ground, and we'll get through more often. Go ahead.
The GDYT has been extremely helpful in combating a lot of that dumping activity and the beautification efforts and everything. Our question would be, is there a possibility to extend it year-round?
Right now, the kids are in school in the summer, so, in the winter. So right now it's a summer program. But let's see what else we can do. But I appreciate you taking the students who are working in the summer. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, how you?
Good. How are you?
I got two questions to answer for you. I wanted to know, and to the lady that did the Jump Start, I would like to say that's a good program. But at the same time, I would like to say that what about the entrepreneurs? I have been trying to be an entrepreneur in the city of Detroit for round 10 of Motor City Match. That has been since 2017. Hold on one second. Let me finish, because it's very important. The prices that you guys are paying, I'm not saying it's not good, but you know what you did, I think, and it's just my opinion. I'm from the streets on the east side of Detroit. You waited too late to put this program in place. You know, people are making a lot of money on weed now. They're not, it's a lot of people that I know personally out in the streets that's gonna make way more than you had on that projector, Mr. Duggan. Duggan, I'm sorry. Second of all, I've been trying to get in contact with you for years. I've been trying to get in contact with you. I came down to your office numerous times just pertaining to my business. Now, I called the city, the mayor of Memphis. I have it right here on my phone.
You want to take the first one? Okay. So bottom line is on Motor City Match, which I started, we've got 140 companies, businesses operating. We were giving out $500,000 a quarter in matches, basically 10 businesses a quarter. We've now doubled that to $1 million a quarter. That's 20 businesses a quarter. But it's hard. There are 300 people apply to be those 10 or 20. I won't tell you it's not hard to win. But the people who are succeeding will help you write a business plan, will help you pick a location, but you're going to have to go through the process. We've doubled the funding. Okay, I can't promise you're going to win. What I can promise you is the opportunity to compete, and we'll give you some help in the next round in the application. Is that everybody? Or got anybody else? Okay, we're not. Okay, everybody's been through one, so let's go. I want everybody to get one time. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Amina Steger, and I'm here as president of the Schoolcraft Improvement Association. We're with District 1. I'm here just to get some assistance with our trees. We have some very large trees that are really leaning at a 90-degree angle going down Davison from Southfield to Greenfield. Just trying to figure out who we can work with for assistance on that.
Brad is your tree person. He's going to talk to you right now.
Thank you.
And he will follow up on the trees. All right. Well, thank you all very much for being here. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're open.